Today's review is the first of the new beers I picked up from Tesco in February 2024. This is from North Brewery and it is from another world. It's a hazy IPA, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're kicking off the new Tesco beers with this one from North Brewing. I haven't seen anything about this one so far as I'm recording this video, so I'm going in completely blind. It's called Another World. It's a 6% hazy IPA. And in true supermarket style, we have no idea what hops are on it. There's a description and everything, but it doesn't actually tell us the hops. It says zesty lime, sharp grapefruit and sweet tangerine with a hint of soft tropical flavours and refreshing bitter sherbet finish that leaves you wanting more. But that's all we know. So, North Brewing. They're a good supermarket, their supermarket beers are, I think, pretty good. Whether it be Sputnik, whether it be that distant call from Asda. We've had some great ones over the years in supermarkets. The one with Green Curve was really good, and that's quite a few years old. They make consistently good, high standard for a supermarket beer. I've had a few of their beers not from the supermarkets, and they're equally good. I don't think there's a huge amounts of difference between them. And obviously North, well, I don't know obviously, but if you might have not known that North literally nearly went out of business at the end of last year, but they were sort of bailed out to some extent by, oh God, I can't remember the name. Not Kirstal Brewery. The brewery that makes, it'll come to me in a minute. I can't remember, but another brewery based, actually I think they're based in Derbyshire, the other brewery. Well, not Kirstal, it's not Kirstal, but another brewery that bailed them out. So, they're still going. They've obviously got a new beer in Tesco. Let's see if this one is up to snuff, as it were. Obviously, this is the first one we've tried. And I don't know, I wanted to try this one first. I was probably the most excited, I suppose, about this one, compared with the Northern Monk and the Vocation ones that I picked up. But we'll see how this goes. Well, I think it's a good start in terms of appearance. Looks pretty good. Bright yellow. It's a very yellowy beer, but not to the point. I wouldn't say it was custardy. You can still see it's, as much as it's very hazy. At the bottom, it's not quite as hazy as you'd expect. You know, there's always a little compromise of a supermarket beer, and probably the amount of wheat and oats that go into this is lacking. We've got literally a finger and a bit of ice white, fairly loose head. But I think that's not a bad start. Let's see what the aroma's like. It does smell very citrusy in terms of lemons and limes. There is a sort of sherbety sort of quality to it as well. Very zesty. Grapefruits, lemons, lime. Big sort of aroma in there. Yeah, there is I'd say there's a substance of orange as well. Maybe that will come through a little bit more in the flavour, but let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Solid IPA. It's a fairly light-bodied, you know, there's not much in the way of creaminess. There's a little bit of zing of carbonation in there as well, but it's very light. And flavoured wise, similar to the aroma. Lemons and limes, that's what you're getting. It's it's a very refreshing sort of beer. It almost is drinking more like a pale ale. It's so, because it's quite light, I think because those sort of flavours that you more associate with pale ales, zesty sort of citrusy flavours, not much else in terms of tropicalness. I'm not really picking up much in terms of grapefruit. It's a big flavour of citrus up front, and then that's it. Doesn't really develop, doesn't do much. It does drink more like a pale ale, but if it was a pale ale, it'd be a very solid one. It's not remarkable, but sometimes you want a beer that's just going to cut through that refreshment. And I think, you know, maybe this is It's a bit early in the year, but when the weather starts getting better, this is a sort of beer that you can think, yeah, I really enjoy this. It's a little bit more softness in the body than maybe you would get in a pale ale, but it's quite light, so it's difficult. It's almost like if you've got a really soft body, but it's a really light beer, you don't get the benefit in terms of that mouthfeel. But I think it's solid. It's an above average beer for a supermarket. And let's face it, I didn't expect anything less from North. They make good beers for the supermarket. Yeah, I think that's a solid start. It's one of those sort of beers that you could drink. You could buy a 4-pack of that and quite easily drink them. You know, it's one of those sort of beers. It doesn't have that complexity, but sometimes you don't always want complexity in your beers. You just want something that you can just smash. 6%, you know, it's probably a little bit high for a smashable amount. But at the same time, if you want to drink IPAs and you want to drink a couple of them in a night, this is a very good option for me. It's got a bit more going for it in terms of its sort of softness and body compared with a pale ale, but it isn't much different than, say, Faith by Northern Monk. It's along those lines, but just a little softer, a little bit more hoppier, I would say, than those beers. But again, it's not doing huge amounts in terms of flavour. It's all about lemons and limes, subtleness of grapefruit in there, but I'm not picking up much in the way of orange or anything tropical. So it's solid. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for North Brewing's Another World Hazy IPA. It's actually, I had a look at it, it's actually a double dry hopped IPA. It doesn't say that on the front, but it says it on the back. 6%, a very good, solid offering for a supermarket beer. Let's get the scores, starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money. Oh, I didn't say how much they were. So all of these beers were, oh, I say that. $3.75. No, $3.50 they were. Or was it free? Either $3.50 or $3.75. But I bought them as part of the 4 for free. So, you know, that works out, you know, under £3. So a good value, pretty much good value. Hence the score. And finally, my overall experience. Tighten the scores up. It's a solid start. I was a little bit worried that they were all going to be a bit disappointing, but this is a solid start. Yes, it's not a highly recommended. It's not going to be the best IPA you've ever drank, but a supermarket beer, it's solid. If you're in Tesco's and you want to pick a cup beer up, then you can't do much wrong than this. I mean, it's up there with other North Brewing beers. It's up there with the likes of, you know, certainly the previous Northern Monk IPAs. I can't think of an IPA in the supermarkets that's better than that at the moment. So yeah, give it a go. Another World. Let me know if you've had this one. Let me know what you think. I liked it, but tell me in the comments what you thought of it. And until the next one, you know what you're going to do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.